What up, everybody? I'm VPB Money Man. What if I told you that I could predict the future? Oh, yeah. That I could tell you what's going to happen down the road. You'd be like, yo, VPB, bro. I rock with you through some crazy stuff and you've been right, but you getting a little crazy right now. But what if I told you I got proof? Because on this channel, we like to show proof. We just don't follow blindly and we just don't, follow the herd. You'll be like, VPB, get on to your point. You're seeming a little crazy right now. What if I told you that I could tell the future, but it's not for the lottery. It's not the winning numbers. It's not I could predict what team's going to win the championships. That I got the magic stock that's going to 900x your portfolio. That the future's looking grim. That I predicted the future almost 2 years ago and it's looking bad. And when this starts to unfold, people will lose their bank accounts because they're not prepared. They will lose their investment portfolios because they will panic sell because they're not prepared with emergency funds. They will lose their cars because they overpaid and they can't afford their payments. They will lose their houses. They will lose their jobs. And they will potentially lose their lives. What if I told you that I'm not happy about that prediction? And what if I told you it's starting to begin right now, but there's still time because it's never too late? This is the past November 22nd, 2021 that I was talking about.
But believe it or not, you need interest rates to go up to help battle inflation. Do you know how you get rid of inflation? You crash the markets. The markets are going to crash eventually, okay? Now, that's how you get rid of inflation. In 2008, $7.1 trillion evaporated because the markets crashed. That's how you hone back in all that free money you gave out. That's how you eventually things will happen and they'll get that money back. Trust me, they always come back for the money. They're paying more for gas. The best way to get rid of that, they're going to crash the market. When you crash the market, people end up broke, okay? What happens when the market crashes is people are living paycheck to paycheck. Where's the first place they go to get extra money that they shouldn't have been gambling with in the first place? The stock market. They pull it out of Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and all this stupid shit they know they shouldn't have been doing. They start pulling it out of the stock market because they got to keep the lights on. That's why you need an emergency fund.
And I'm going to show you the present right now from a much bigger channel, RJ Talks. I borrowed the clip from him. It's in the beginning phases right now.
It writes this. The price is right. U.S. dollar at 6-month high. A, in the past 10 weeks alone, global liquidity has shrunk by $1 trillion. B, pricing out of Fed cuts. C, capital flows into U.S. tech. And D, China debt risks their currency now weakest since '07. Financial conditions getting tighter, higher yields equal harder landing. Now we can see what's happening in this chart, folks. $1 trillion in global liquidity gone. Poof, in the past 10 weeks, and already 4.2 trillion wiped away from peak, which means it really is happening, folks. All of that money that was pumped into the system, the money making so many people feel rich, is being sucked back out and burned off. It also means there is a big, giant question mark as to what this means, what's going to happen as a result.
You see, I predict the economic cycles because I always said I educated myself and I try to spread that knowledge to you guys. Not with just economic cycles. We're going to get into that. But spotting scams, spotting frauds. On my way home from working 42 hours straight, 6 on, 6 off, a lot of you may remember, that video where I said I was working over the weekend. Something came up on my audiobook. And I listened to all my audiobooks over and over and over again. Intelligent Investor, Random Walk Down Wall Street, and The Millionaire Next Door. I continuously listen to them to remind myself to stay on track and that I am doing things right. What if I told you that he calls out a scam right here. And this book was written in 1996. Listen. This is from The Millionaire Next Door. I always listen to this audiobook. This happened to come on at 1:30 in the morning when I got home the other day. And I thought this would be amazing to play for you and narrate it and fill in the blanks on how these scams have been around for a long time. Listen.
It takes talent and discipline to generate profits and ultimately wealth. That is why we are offended by people who tell the American public, just buy my educational study-at-home kit and your new business venture will be a success.
Just replace that with purchase my Patreon, my Discord, and my stock school, and my class. Just replace that with what he said with that. Listen to the next thing he says.
Your own business today, you will be wealthy tomorrow.
Join Webull, Mumu, start your own portfolio, and you'll have generational wealth tomorrow.
I did it in this industry. You can do it too.
Watch me trade live on the Discord on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is how I did it.
It's so easy.
Easy money. See, scams have been going on since the beginning of time. The art of the scam is I can promise you money, but you got to give me money. That's the scam. And I replaced the keywords for you from back then what they were selling and now they were selling. It will keep continuously happening and they will just change the words in the scam. The same way the economic cycle will continue to happen. And here's what tends to happen. Something bad happens in the economy. They lower interest rates. They give stimulus. Inflation happens. They raise interest rates. They hone back the money. Markets crash. And they repeat the cycle. If you notice, I've always said keep an emergency fund. Because during an emergency, you need that fund. An emergency fund is not for me. An emergency fund is not for anyone else. It's for you. People sell out of their positions. It could be selling out of Apple, Microsoft, the S&P 500, a total stock market, because they don't have cash sitting on the sidelines. And this is why, if you noticed, I made videos saying now would possibly be a good time to lock in a CD or a high interest savings account to start building that up, because when the storm comes, it sucks. Yes, it does. It hurts. But you soften the blow when you could sit back and say, you know what? We got savings. We're going to let our investments keep rocking. You may have to pause your dollar cost averaging, but guess what? Your dividends being reinvested will buy when the market's low, and you can, have your savings, or you might not lose your job, because what happens is a lot of people are not the only ones that are over leveraged on their cars and their houses. A lot of people's businesses they work for, they're over leveraged. And your bosses and CEOs will never tell you that they've been working in the red for the past 5 years, 4 years, 10 years. And now they shut down without any notice. You get laid off. And that's how emergencies happen. On this channel, I always say, try to educate yourselves and listen to these audiobooks. But if you don't, I'm here for you. I got your back. You saw it for yourself. It's happening. Almost 2 years ago, I said this was going to happen. In the meantime, I've been telling people, stack your paper, invest in index funds. Because when markets crash, your index funds take a less of a blow than speculative things. And a lot of people will get hurt. A lot of people will lose a lot of money. A lot of people will start selling out at a huge loss. The grifters and scammers will start changing their stories and they'll move on to the next scam. This is why I try to prepare a lot of you guys out here. And I try to prepare a lot of the followers that follow me, because I know when you look at someone, I represent the people that follow me. So I will never lead you down a path that I don't take myself. I will never pump a Patreon, a scam. A Patreon is a scam. That's why I said scam. I will never pump a Patreon, a Discord, a school because they're scams. I will never pump any of that crap to you. If it's a Patreon, a Discord where we're talking about, life events and it's access where I'm at night doing different things, but I will never pump a Discord or a Patreon or any type of scam to you saying that I can get you rich, I can get you wealthy. I can't do it for you. I'm not the coach that can write up the plays. I can tell you what I did, and if you choose to follow it, you follow it because I listen to these books and I'm following millionaires and billionaires. That's how you get ahead. You follow people who are doing better than you. So the scams, the Patreons, the Discords, the schools, the real estate scams, the MLMs, you'll never hear me pump that stuff on there because not only do I have dignity for myself, I have a conscience. And I could not live with myself knowing that people lost their lives, their money, their cars following my false information. If you're still here, think about subscribing. No regrets. Get it.